Welcome to They Not Like Us, the podcast that dives into real-life stories and unfiltered conversations, wherever the journey takes us. We don't have a niche, we are the niche. Today's guest, Anthony Noble, is no stranger to life's roller coaster. He is known for his raw and authentic approach to helping people. His journey is a powerful one, from battling drug addiction and prison time to building wealth and facing devastating loss, including the passing of his son. Anthony turned his pain into purpose and is now on a mission to help others through their darkest moments. In this episode, Anthony shares his story of resilience, redemption, and how he's using his experiences to coach and guide others. Whether you're struggling with addiction, trauma, or just feeling lost, Anthony's words will resonate deeply. Join us as we dive into his incredible transformation and the powerful work he's doing today. A conversation that's real, raw, and full of heart. Ready to get started? Let's jump into it.
Hello, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Aaron. Today with me is Anthony Noble. Anthony, I'm not going to do the intro for you. I'm going to ask you to do that yourself, if you don't mind, and tell people a little bit about yourself and what you're all about.
No worries. My name's Anthony Noble. I'm the founder of No Bullshit Coaching, and also known as Not Just Another Life Coach.
Okay, so you've had quite a bit of a roller coaster of a background looking at, doing my research and stuff. You've had, a history of drugs and prison and wealth and obviously some tragic loss as well. How have these experiences shaped the person that you are today?
Massively. I struggled with drug addiction for probably 10 to 12 years. I started using cocaine at quite a young age, and I was selling coke on a huge scale to drug dealers or in kilos. And I don't know how I ended up doing it. It sort of fell upon me, and it just grabbed me. And obviously gambling as well come hand in hand. But then for me, the pivotal moment in my life was I've been clean for about 8 years. But the pivotal moment for me is when I lost my son. My son passed away, and it was quite tragic and traumatic. And that was my hardest, darkest place I've ever been. I've been suicidal at times years ago, but I've always been cup half full sort of person, and I would never give in. I've got too much drive. But my son really was... I refused to go back to drugs and to numb the pain. And I had a good support network with family and friends, but it was just, I don't know, for me, it was, after that moment, I just wanted to help people and use all my experiences, all my scars for a positive. And I sort of fell into coaching. I went counselling, and she said to me that I was insecure and I never loved anyone before. I was thinking, no, there's no way, I'm really confident. But then when you start breaking it down and I start learning coaching to coach other people, it really sorted my life out. And then I thought, you know what, if I could feel this and I can change my life, then I'd love to change other people's. And because I remember being in those moments, and it's very lonely and it's scary and you feel very lost. And I've had good times. I've been a millionaire twice. I've had successful businesses, and I lost them through addictions and wrong mindset. And it's such a true saying. They say money makes you more of what you are. So when I would say a bad person, lost, I just would buy a load of... I was insecure. I'd go buy thousands of pounds worth of Gucci shoes and Moncler coats or Rolex watches or new Range Rovers, or new yachts. And it was a constant trying to find my happiness. But as you well know, you can't buy happiness. And that's such a true saying. You could buy a happy moment, but you can't buy happiness. But for me, my pivotal moment was my son passing. And when people say to me, I'm so sorry, to me, he was a gift. He was a short gift to me to make me do what I do now for a living. And it's not going to drop. It's a passion. I'm on an absolute mission. So.
Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult that must have been for you. And
Yeah.
like, I've got kids myself, so I really cannot imagine what you've been through. I can't put myself in that place, because that is a real dark place to climb out of. And it's testament to you that you've done it, really.
Yeah.
Are you still, battling with it? You still, because I can't
No.
imagine it's something that just goes away.
It does. I would say the last year of my life since coaching full time, I use that as my energy. Like my partner, my missus, my fiance, she's my superpower. She gives me that push and that drive and that support. And my son dying is one of my superpowers. I use all my life experiences and tragedy and loss to be the best coach I can. I believe and I know one day I will be iconic worldwide. My ripple effect is I want to help millions, and my intentions are pure. I got a heart of gold. And even previously, when I was taking drugs, they make you do bad actions, and I made bad choices. I'm responsible for some bad things I've done in my life, but I hold my hands up, and I can't change the past. But when one day on my deathbed or on my tombstone, I want to be known as a life changer. And like for me, it's not even about the money. I've had, well, I say wealth and millions, and yes, money's lovely, and money does give you freedom, and it does give you opportunities and experiences in life. And obviously, I want that part, but I really want to give back. I remember, sorry for waffling. I remember when my son was dying, I was lucky. I was in a position financially to be able to have time off of work. And you've got some parents where their children are dying or their wife's dying, and they can't afford a day off work to spend with their loved ones or spend that time. And for me, I've got a mission of a goal amount that I want to be turning over a year, which is quite a crazy amount. But I would like to be giving like 50% of that away to help people and to give back to people, just to take a bit of pain away. Like if you've got someone that is passing or struggling, I don't want you to worry about finances as well. At the same time, you've got enough stresses to worry about. I just want to give back for them, because there was a lot of people supporting me through a lot of it. A lot of people have helped me. I'm not going to lie, and I've had a lot of support, and it's really nice now that I lost my parents, not literally lost them, but I lost connection with them and my family and a lot of my friends due to my actions. And now my relationship is amazing. Like, I see my parents last night. It's very unlike my dad to give me a cuddle. He's a man's man. But we had a cuddle, and he said he loved me, and my mum was so proud of me. And yeah, it's nice. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's brilliant to hear. How have you gone about rebuilding them relationships then after, like, I imagine there was a lot of years of damage?
Yeah, it takes time. It does take time. It's trust. And one of my key things that I teach people when coming through addictions or trauma is your identity. Identity is a massive thing that I coach. I don't want to put other companies down or businesses down, but a lot of people say once an addict, you're always an addict. And that is one of my mindsets that I absolutely hate. Because as soon as I decide I want to be a life coach, I would think, how would a life coach talk? How would he walk? How would he dress? How would he hold himself? And I live that identity. And it's the same as if you're an addict. It doesn't matter if it's sex, alcohol. An addiction is an addiction. You have to break that loop, break that circuit, and change. If you start changing the way you think, you will change the way you feel. And then if you change the way you pursue yourself to the world, my identity, I say, so if you're always saying once an addict, always an addict, you're never actually releasing it, you're never letting go, you're in the back of your subconscious mind, you're always being drawn back and held back by addiction. Where if you start saying, I was an addict, I'm a fucking legend now, sorry for swearing. I'm a legend. I go to the gym every morning. Look at me go. Ding dong. Wow, look at me. It's just, yeah, for me, it's a massive thing with identity, but it takes time, because a lot of my old friends will not so much, not now, but they always looked at me as the gearhead, and then you would go and buy things. So people think, oh, look, Ant's doing really well. Where internally, I'm screaming to be loved, or I just want to be accepted by society. Where really they're just laughing at you, or not laughing, but I don't like being the culture scape. I try to escape from it. Like, I'm not a people pleaser, and I used to be such a people pleaser because it's the way the world is. Like I try to say to my partner, the word no is quite powerful, and you have the right to say no. Like,
Yeah,
and
I think that's. Go on.
God, sorry, go on, Aaron.
I think it's quite powerful to be able to say no, and to like a lot of people get caught in that people pleasing trap, and then it just leads you down a bad path of a life you don't want to be living, and you'll be miserable if you do it.
That's
Whereas
right.
if you understand and know yourself, and you say no to things that you don't want to do, probably more so than doing the things that you do want to do, it'll actually give you so much more power and freedom. I've experienced that myself in my life. It's amazing. So it's good. But how long have you been clean then, Anthony?
I haven't gambled for about 10 years. Gambling was a huge thing for me. Like,
it's so accessible now as well, isn't it?
Like, I'm talking millions of lost, like crazy. But the money is irrelevant. It's if you earned £300 a week wages, I was probably gambling £1,500. I was over gambling, but I've been clean now from gambling about 9-10 years, and drugs coming up to 8 years.
That's good. So, that's good. Do you have any? Is it still a battle, or
no,
not
at all. Like, I don't disagree. Your life is your choice, and I don't tell people what to do. Like coaching, I don't tell people what to do. That is your. If you choose to take cocaine or you choose alcohol, that is your choice. I only say to people, if there is something that you do in your life that is affecting your relationships, your work, your family life, your friendships, and mainly is it affecting you, then it's a problem. Other than that, I don't tell people what to do. But for me, I have an addictive nature, or I have drive, should I say. I know what I can and can't do. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. But it took me a long while to work them out. But for me, no, I don't. I drink alcohol very little. Now and then I'll have a couple of glasses of wine with dinner when we go out for dinner. But I wouldn't be a person to go out getting drunk. And that's just my thing. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I meditate for 20 minutes, half hour. I'm in the gym by 4:45. Out the gym by 20 to 6. It's just, I'm very structural and routine, but it works for me. And even if I go to the gym and have a coffee, I've been to the gym.
Yeah, how do you find the gym helps? Because I've always trained, and I think that's kept me away from some of that stuff, really. Because I have what I would class as, it might not be the right terminology, but I would class it as an addictive personality, where I can get really hyper focused on stuff, and I'll just go down a rabbit hole with something, and I'll be on it. So I get that. So the gym has really helped me. I know it's helped me throughout my life to kind of keep that balance, and that's probably been where I've focused a lot of that energy, to be honest. So how have you found since you started training and stuff?
I've trained for 20 odd years, 25 years. I love gym. Gym is my saviour. I did go for a stage where I was doing steroids years ago, and then it became addictive nature. I ended up getting not to steroids, but the mindset. I'm not big enough.
Yeah.
I'm not big enough. And then I got such a little head. I wear junior size hats. So for me, to look big, it just looked absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just lost you for a second there.
My bloody earphones are dying.
All right.
It was a mindset thing for me. It was the wrong mindset, like addictive nature. I'm not big enough. I wasn't happy within myself. Now I go to the gym. I've got a good physique. I'm happy with it, but I am what I am. Do you know what I mean? I love myself without saying like vanity. I still work on myself every day. There's things that I want to be better, but I think that's a journey through life. You're never going to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect.
No, it's never going to happen, is it? For any of us, unfortunately. But with your coaching then, so you've obviously discovered coaching. That's helped you as a person and to develop as well.
Yep.
What is your plans for your coaching, like for your, how are you going to reach people? How are you going to get, what kind of people are you going to reach out to?
Right. So my niche, for me, I was also a world championship level dancer for years. I was friends with everyone on Strictly. I was Latin American champion. I went around the world dancing. So
Cool.
For me, my niche is I help celebrities and professionals, or business owners, get through addictions, traumas, or someone that just feels lost in life. But on the other hand, I've set up a thing called a community, which is going to be an app soon. My website goes live on this Friday, and then part of that website is an app which is called the community. So there'll be a section on there for addicts, a section for trauma, a section for business, and it's chats. So I thought, what did I need when I needed help? I needed support, but maybe I didn't want to talk to someone face to face, or I didn't want them to see my face. So you can use an avatar, or you can use a blank screen, or you can use a picture. But it's the subscription, because if you can't afford my high ticket, I thought I want to help other people as well. And I don't just want to help high tickets. I want to help the world. I want to help millions. So it's a community for each other, everyone to talk to one another. So if you're an addict, whether it's sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever, you're in the same area. So you're in that place because you want to stop. So they're all in the same mindset and they can support one another. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will do live webinars on there where everyone can get involved in it. Fire away questions at me, Q&As, and they can Q&A each other, help each other live. And then every other week, I'm going to get a professional on, some like friends that have struggled with addictions, that have been there, done it, been through it. And it just gives them the encouragement and support. And it's there 24/7 a day for them. So, and there's nothing like it at the moment. And I feel everyone can afford £10 a month. And as it gets bigger, so at the minute there'll be a leaderboard. So the people that interact the most and give the most to it and give the most to people, they'll be at the top. They'll win once a month. There'll be like a 6-week coaching course with me for free, or a one-on-one session with me. And as the app gets bigger, or the community gets bigger, there'll be like a week in Spain for 2 people, a weekend in Paris. I just want to give back. The more you give in, the more you get back. And that's my idea of it's gonna take organic, and then through social media I get a lot on. I have a few clients that are celebrities, so I do get word of mouth and referrals in that element of business.
Cool. What kind of socials do you use at the minute?
I use Facebook and Instagram, and I've never, obviously drug dealers don't really go on Facebook, so I've never been on any social media in all my life. Even when I come out of prison, it just never really interested me. But obviously doing what I do, so I need social media, so I'm like a dinosaur on it. But I've now employed a digital marketing agency to do it with me.
Okay.
Because I feel like my Facebook is a lot better than Instagram for following. It seems to organically grow a lot quicker. But then I was doing a lot more on Facebook than I was Instagram. So, yeah, just my story is a crazy story. Everyone's got a story. I'm no better than anyone else. And I that's one thing I want people to know. I'm no better. I've just been where you are. And if you want to, I'd rather someone cry with me than cry alone. And some people just need a helping hand, or just a little nudge. Some people don't need a full coaching sessions. They don't need a 3 month from me. They might just need a little 2-week reset, and it's just that little push, getting back on track. And it's just I just remember how I felt when it was me, and I wish there was coaching like 10 years ago, or I knew about it 10 years ago, because it's just you positive actions and you're moving in the right direction, and that support I think is key, because if you have got a real bad addiction or it's really got hold of you, it's very hard to do it on your own. But I didn't like group sessions. I didn't like rehab. It didn't work for me. But I think if there was something behind a keyboard where I could hide my face, but I could be open, I think it's easier for people to talk behind a screen. And that's the way the world is these days.
Yeah, I can't agree more with that, to be honest. Ultimately, that's the reason a lot of people will send text messages but not answer phone calls.
Yeah, I won't be in today.
Yeah. But that's it. A lot of people want to much rather send text messages and stuff than have calls or like FaceTime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They, for whatever reason, I'm not really sure, but it's just seems to be the way it is.
Yeah.
So obviously, you mentioned you've been to prison.
Yeah.
How was that? How was that experience?
You know what? It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I would be dead by now. The things I was involved in, circles of people, and I've always been a happy-go-lucky person. So for me, rolling around with large amounts of cocaine and large amounts of money, it's just I get a parking ticket now. I shit myself. I look back and I think, how the fuck did I do that? Or like, how? That's like, it seems like a different person. It was okay. Like, it's to me, I describe it as if you go down the pub and you want trouble, you can have it. If you go down the pub and want a nice night and keep yourself to yourself, good as gold. And I went in there with the attitude as I'm not here to fight, I'm not here to row, I'm here to have a laugh and get my head down and use it to the best of my ability. I just thought, right, this is going to be a few years of me time. And I went gym a lot. I learnt PT, and I read a hell of. And I never used to read before prison. Now I read at least 2 books a week. I'm obsessed with reading, and I come out 11 years ago, 10 years ago. So
That's good. How long did you do? Sorry.
At first they were looking at giving me 18 years, and then we appealed it. I got it down to 10, and then I managed to get off with a technicality, and then I've done 4 years. So
okay. Dodged a bullet then.
Oh, when I remember the day before I went, they said to me I was looking between 22 years and 18 years, and I thought, oh my God, I've told my girlfriend I'm getting 18 months.
Wow.
But yeah, it was, my dad was very much, right, that's it, your life's ruined, you're going to come out a criminal, even more of a criminal. And I didn't. I come out mentally probably the strongest I've ever been apart from now. Mentally, I was in such a good mindset. But then it's the same as rehab. You go to rehab, it's lovely and fluffy, and it's unicorns and fairies, and there's no stress. And then you come out, and then it's bang, stress, society, pressures, relationships, work, and most people know how to numb it through addictions. And especially the stresses you get, or the society these days is, what have you got? What have you got? What shoes have you got? Especially where I come from, South London, it's very much materialistic.
Yeah.
Now I don't really care. I wear a pair of Primark t-shirts. That doesn't make me the person who I am.
Yeah, I'm always in gym gear, so I never dress to impress anybody. Yeah.
I've got a pair of jogging bottoms on now. I had silks on, but I didn't want to look like I was naked.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't dress to impress nobody. This is just I am who I am. Yeah. It's just one of the ways. So with your coaching then, and obviously you're saying about like rehab, and the difficulty of like you go into this nice safe environment and then come out and then you have to deal with real life.
Yeah.
So is that where your coaching picks up then, where you're dealing with people because essentially they are in life, aren't they? You're coaching them through that minefield.
I also do something that's slightly different that I don't believe anyone in the country does. So I come up with the idea of when you have a driving test, you can do intense training. So I give people the option. We can do a VIP retreat, it's called. So we'll go anywhere you want in the world. I won't stay with them. They stay in their own villa. And then everyone is bespoke to them. If they like dancing, horse riding or yacht boats. So while we're there, my PA will arrange to get up 6 o'clock in the morning. We go to a private gym. We train for an hour, get a sweat on, go for a walk, come back, have breakfast together, do a 2-hour coaching session, have lunch, chill out. And then in the afternoon, we'll do another activity or we'll do another 2-hour coaching session. So you do 4 hours a day of coaching. Basically, you can either do 3 days or 5 days. But when you leave there, you have clarity. But we're still going to go to the pubs. I want to test you. Like, I don't want to take that element away from you. So I want to be out in society. I want to be going to bars, restaurants where there's alcohol, where there's drugs. Because it's always going to be there. But some people just want to get their business from where they are, where they're stuck, to where they want to be. And half of that is mindset and belief. And there's so much more to it because every single client is bespoke. The way I would coach you may be totally different to the way I coach my friend James, for instance. Or everyone's got a total different background. They've got different beliefs. They've got different nationalities, ethics. So everyone is different. But I just try and be the best I can for people and find out what they really want. What does Aaron really want in life? What does your dream life look like? And then we work through it. We say, right, what's your goals? What's your resources? What are you going to come across? Is there obstacles? How are you going to get through them? So you've got your goal. How are you going to get there with your resources? And you might come across this issue, but you don't know how to get through that issue. So that's not a problem. And then you way forward. And you just keep going and going. But everyone is different. Everyone is so different. I even coach myself.
How does that work?
I talk a lot to myself anyway, so I'm very, with my addictive nature, or I like structure. So I will say to myself on a Sunday, I'll sit down for an hour, maybe 2, and I'll go through my whole week for next week. Day by day by day, what has to be done. And then on the following Sunday, I will go through what I did, how it felt to me, and does it need any more work or can I push more? And also I have, it's a bit, people call it maybe strange, but I have like the reverse of a goal is like my minimum I will let myself get away with. So I want to know that even if I get off a 10-hour flight, I can drop down and do 50 push-ups, no matter what time of day it is. So if I can't do it, then I know that maybe I've put on a bit of weight, or I've got a bit lazy, or I'm slacking, I'm tired, I'm not getting enough rest. But any time of the day, I should be able to drop down and do 50 push-ups. So I have loads of little presets in my life, whether it's finances and then if you miss it, I know I'm going to have to do 51. Not 55, just 51, just a little bit more, just little 1%, 2% more. And it just keeps me on my toes so I don't drop below a certain part of my life. And it just keeps me slightly pushing. Like, it doesn't have to be huge steps, but it works for me. It might not, there's other ways you can do it with other people, but everyone's so different, Aaron. Like, you can't. And it's lovely finding out people out what works for them, right? And when you get that breakthrough moment, I remember the first time a client, and you get taught, when I qualified, you get taught about breakthroughs. And they talk about it all the time. The eyes light up, the smile on the face. And I think, oh, whatever. Oh, you're so spiritual, you're so happy. And now I'm one of them people. And then when I get a breakthrough moment with a client, I'm like, oh, it's it's heartfelt. It's amazing. It's just, and then when you get people messaging you or saying such kind words like "you're an inspiration" or "you've changed my life," I say, "No, you changed your life. We just work together." Like every one of my clients will say to me, "You're not a client. I hate the word client. You're a friend. This is a relationship." I don't like to use the word journey because it's so cliche, but to me, I love everyone. I always look at the best in everyone. And a lot of people don't mean to be mean. A lot that saying hurt people is so true. Because I was one of them people. I was hurting inside. I just hated the world.
Yeah, seems to be the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So obviously you're saying everybody's different and stuff. How do you balance then? Because I imagine like everybody has a different sort of level and tolerance, right? So some people need more support than others. Some people need a bit of tough love.
Yeah.
But I think everybody needs a little balance of both. So how do you manage to get that balance right?
From a child, my mum said to me I was always good at reading people. And it's only the last year I've been learning about vibrations and manifestation. I'm going a bit off piste here, but
That's cool.
I understand people's vibrations. So I know if someone can take my tough love. Like my name is Anthony Noble. So the first thing I thought was no bullshit coaching. Like no bull. There's no bull with me. There's no fluff. I don't lie to anyone about anything. I will not offend anyone like rudely. But if I think someone needs to be held accountable, you can't bullshit me. Like your actions for this week, you need to do this and this. You need to shoot me proof and then come back because next week we're going to do this, this, this. So you need to do this first. And if they're lazy, I'll give them a week. I'll say, okay, that's fair enough. We all have off weeks. But some people, I'm good at reading people. I know if I can push someone too much or some people need a bit more of a cuddle. And like they know, my phone is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My client they mean the world to me. I'm nothing about clients. And I just say to them, please don't ring me at 3 o'clock in the morning if you've messed up. I'm sure that can wait till 9 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning. But other than that, it's I like because obviously there's the different part. Everyone's different, and some people might see a vision, some people might feel a vision, like feel something, or people like the sound. So you have to work that language out with someone as well, because otherwise, if someone's a visual person, but I'm saying to them, "How does that sound?" I might as well talk Spanish because they won't relate with me. So you have to pick up quite early in the stage of like a session. I'd say to someone, "How does that? How do you see your dream life? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? What does it look like?" And they'll say, "Oh, it looks like this." So now I know they're in the language of they're a visual person. Usually, most people are visual or feeling, but they might be slightly a bit of both. So it's just about getting that language right and relating to people and being on the same level.
Yeah, I think getting that balance. Is there anything in particular that you do to other than sort of just talking and just building rapport? Do you have like techniques or tricks?
I test.
Yeah, you have a test.
I've always been like my daughter calls it trickster. I love being a trickster. I've always been cheeky. Like I've always, even if someone fighting in a room, I'll be smiling, so I'll get the blame. It's just, but I think with that cheekiness, sometimes, obviously, there's professional moments, there's funny moments, because I want my coaching to be enjoyable. But I want, like, when I do seminars, I like to leave there knowing people have left smiling, and same as every session with me, I want you to leave happy and looking forward to the next time you see me. And I think that is one of my key elements for my coaching. I'd always say to people, what's the best thing you got from today? Not what did you get from today? What's the best thing you got? What made you smile? What made you feel like, fuck, can't wait for tomorrow? Because there'll be a moment there. It doesn't matter how small it is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But right, I'm going to move to this one. I'm going to ask you, right, true happiness now, right? I
Right.
think I know how you
True
think, right?
happiness,
True,
right?
true happiness. How would you define it, first of all?
Right. So I think happiness, you have to have a something called wealth as well. And to me, there's three types of wealth. You have internal wealth, which is how I feel about myself, um, how I portray myself to the world, my identity, so the real me. And then I believe there's another wealth called external wealth. So this is the way I look at the world, my paradigm, the way I have fun, my relationship with others. And then finally, money. How much have I got in my bank? How much can I sustain? And how much can I attract? But without all three of those in line, you will never get true happiness. You will never get true wealth. You work on, and you can work on all three. You can work on all three at the same time. You don't have to work at one at a time. But happiness for me is everyone is individual. Like what makes Aaron happy is different to what makes me happy. Like I love the sea. I love water. I love spending time with my partner, my daughter, and I love life. I really. I done something the other day. I've done a chat the other day, and I actually broke down in crying because I am so happy, like truly happy. Like I wake up every single morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and some days I'm tired, some days I. That's natural, and you are going to get thrown off. You are going to get tested, but that's life. If it was always so happy, it would be boring. But when you're working from a happier place, when something shit does happen, you seem to deal with it a lot better. And it is just life. And for me, I think internally is a great way to start. But you are going to have bad. I learned something recently, and it's called the shadow. So it's a part of you that is the bad part. Like, so you would write down things that actually you feel inside or you think that fucking scare you, like the dangerous part of you. And then you've got your attitudes, what you think is a bad attitude that you hate about yourself. And then there'll be your opinions or the way you reflect yourself to the world. But you can't, they are part of you. You can't change them. So if you don't give that a meaning, it's just like when you meditate, something comes in your mind. If you don't give it, you can't suppress it. Suppressing doesn't work because then you end up having all these feelings, all these emotions blocked up in a box that's airtight. And then all of a sudden, the more you keep putting in, the weaker the box gets. And then it'll start trickling out. And then before you know it, it fucking explodes with a panic attack or stress or a breakdown. So I've learned with time I'm going to get bad days. I'm going to get bad feelings. I'm going to miss my son. I'm going to regret some of the shit I done years ago, my guilt or shame. But it is what it is. I just let it come. I don't give it any energy. I just let it come and go. I can't change it. And but like, it's a lot easier to do that once you know how. And it took me a long while through knowledge and studying and trying different techniques, what worked for me. And I tried to teach it through my coaching, like different mind states like alpha, beta, theta, how they do change the way you can learn. Like your creativity works a lot better when you're in alpha state, which is like your sleepier state, but your heart rate will slow down, your mind will slow down, the neurons will slow down. And it's yeah, you know what, Aaron, I just love it. I love anything to do with the mind.
Yeah, I'm big into all that stuff as well, and to like learning about that. Some of the stuff you were saying actually reminds me of something that helped me a lot. I've not used it for a long time really, but like I used concepts a long time ago. It's called non-duality. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
But it's basically kind of almost detaching from yourself almost, and
Yes.
just allowing yourself to be, and just like just observing it, but not necessarily reacting to it all the time.
Great word.
So, and that really helped me a lot with a lot of my struggles in the past. So, and a lot of the stuff that you're saying there is very similar to me, or like very familiar in that sense.
And it's mad because it does work. Like if someone said to me 5 years ago, Aaron, that I'd be a life coach and I'd be doing what I do and I'd be into manifestation, I'd be into meditating, I would have said, fuck off, mate, you're on drugs. Like, I'm from Southeast London. I've always been in the construction industry. I've always been on site. I've always been like project managing or having businesses. Like, that is not me. But I absolutely love it. I'm so into it, 100%. And like you say, one another technique I learned was if you're looking at something, like something's going on in my life that's bad, I can imagine myself there. But if I'm taking it for an aerial view and I look at myself, you're sort of detaching yourself. Or same as when you manifest. I manifest, like you might think, I want to manifest myself driving a Rolls Royce convertible. And you can visualize it, and then you can put yourself in the seat of that. I put myself in that body. And how would that feel? How would that smell? I mean, it's just, the mind is an amazing, because I'll tell you something honest. I honestly quit through hypnosis and learning about mindset. That is the key things that helped me. So I got hypnotized and I stopped, relapsed a couple of times. And then I thought, what is hypnosis? So it's about your subconscious mind. And then I got really into it and I thought, the mind is such a powerful machine. Like, if I can stop honestly, Aaron, I was doing between 5 and 10 grams a day of cocaine. I was gambling in the thousands. I'd wake up 6 o'clock in the morning and have a line. And that's it. I'm doing it all day long. I don't think I had a Christmas dinner for 12 years. As soon as Christmas dinner, I'd wake up, Christmas Day, start using cocaine. And it's a sad life, but it is what it is. It's my past. And I wouldn't be here now doing what I'm doing now with you if it wasn't for that. And I think that's what will cut me differently from any other coach in the world.
Yeah, I don't imagine many have gone through what you've gone through and, still got a smile on your face. And
I think it's the team.
Maybe. Yeah, but no, because like I said, it's a lot for people to come back from, isn't it? A lot of trauma, a lot of
it is
addiction and stuff, and to overcome that, that's some real strength and grit and determination as well.
Yeah, there was times, Aaron. I'm not going to lie. There was times when I was suicidal. I thought. I remember a time when I sat there with a gun in my hand, and I thought everything I touch, I destroy. Every woman, every friend, everyone that comes into my life, I hurt. I lost a lot of my friends, although I just said Klingons because I had money. But they weren't true friends, and like my family were just disgusted in me. And I thought, what is the point? And I sat there probably about 4 times in my life. I sat there with a gun. I thought, my dad's a diabetic, so I thought I'll just go get some insulin. I'll just jab myself with loads of insulin and kill myself. But I thought, then in the back of my mind, I thought, well, that's not the weak way out, because some people, it's hard to explain. I just thought, I've done enough to my parents. I can't do that to them as well. And I used to just dig deep, and then it took me a long while. It was a long journey. It's probably, I would say, a good 4 years of stop-starting, lapsing, not relapsing, lapsing. And then I might have a little relapse for a month. And every time was less and less. And then you got to a point where I just thought, right, that's it, enough. But I always looked at myself as like I fought it, and I always had to have that willpower until I learned coaching. Then I learned about my mind, and now I don't associate myself with it. Like, it is what my past is my past, but there is no way in a million years I'd ever. I love me for who I am now, and I wake up every morning excited about life. Like how what's going to happen to me today? How am I going to get another client? Am I going to change another life today? And I know that if I'd done drugs now, I'd feel shit for 3 days. So,
we seem to have lost him there.
Are you there, Aaron?
There you go.
Hello.
I had no idea what
back on the earphones.
Brilliant. Yeah, not a Scooby-Doo what happened there. So
No worries, mate.
I'll just what I'll do is I'll piece the recordings together anyway. So when it's published, it'll be one. I'll cut
No
out
worries,
this little
mate.
bit.
Will you send it to me, or?
Usually I just upload it straight away, but I can send it to you if you want.
Okay, yeah. No worries, because I use it as a BSL and I use it for. I get someone to edit someone. Brilliant.
Yeah, or I can just send you clips if you want to just use clips.
Aaron, whatever's easiest, mate. I'll just give you a nice comment anyway. By the way.
No worries.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Right. Where were we before we got rudely interrupted?
That's all right.
Right. Is that live? That's live. Okay. Right. I don't even remember where we were now.
So we're
That's
talking
what
about
memories
happiness.
Happiness.
We're talking about happiness. So, what's happiness to me? I said to you earlier, I'm so happy now. Obviously, we all get days, and some days I get a bit pissed off, but these are just tests, and I'm content. Like, after this, I said to my partner, right, we get in the car, we put the roof down, we go down to the coast. It's only 20 minutes away from where I live. We go get fish and chips and sit on the beach, and that's my little happy face. I don't know if I've got older, but I like walking. Like, I love nature, and I always say to my clients, "What makes you happy? Like, what? Don't worry about your husband, your wife, your kids, the dog. What is it that Aaron? Like, what really makes you happy? Even if it's dancing naked in your kitchen, it doesn't matter. That's your thing. There is no right or wrong. Every person in this world is unique. They're wired different. Otherwise, it'd be a boring place. And I'd say to people, anchor onto that. Anchor, like, whatever makes you happy do more of it. Why not?
Yeah.
For some reason, I love being good.
What about the barriers that people face? And so people, like, I'd say, at least most people would say they want to be happy, right? But people obviously have these barriers or these limiting beliefs, maybe, if you want. That stops them getting there. How would you help those people?
I didn't realise how many I had. And that's through my parents, society, emotion experiences, and you don't realise you have them. Like, unless you start working, like, breaking you. And even if I still remember, like, things back at school where I wasn't chosen for a football team, and it bothered me. And you think, oh, I was fucking 12 years old. That don't matter. Like, it's not bothered me. But in the back of your mind, you don't realise your subconscious mind it stores all this information, and it doesn't actually release it until you start working on it. And there are ways, but I would say if I ask the one question to people, what do you want? And that is the one thing that every single person in this world wants. Is happiness. Why would you not want to be happy? And even as someone that says to me, I don't want to be happy, you're lying. because no one is wired that way to want to be unhappy. And everyone has different beliefs or limiting beliefs. Like, just trying to think some of my old limiting beliefs. All right, for instance, my parents were very much go get a job, go work for someone 9 till 5, get paid at the end of the month, go get married, have 2 kids, get a mortgage, and then when you're 60, then you can go mad. And I thought, that doesn't sound too good to me. That really... And even to this day, my mum's going, when are you going to get married? I say, I am going to get married. And I have proposed to my partner now, and I actually really can't wait to get married. But I said, I want David Guetta to be my DJ at the wedding in Greece. So until I've got enough money... but then they do hold you back. Then beliefs do hold you back. And like when I first said to my parents, "Oh, I'm gonna," or even friends, I say, "Oh, I'm turning over like £3 million this year, or I'm going to turn over £6 million or £1 million." You feel embarrassed to say it. You feel like, oh, you shouldn't really say that because, or you say those amounts to my parents, they're like, "Nah, people don't earn that sort of money. You must be selling drugs again." I'm like, seriously, I'm not selling drugs. But they've only learnt from what they've been taught. You don't know what you don't know. But some beliefs are really hard to change because someone will kill for a belief.
So
a belief is not a fact. A belief is an opinion. And trying to explain that to someone when you're coaching is quite difficult. Some people they've had them beliefs for a long while. And it took me a lot, and I still work on some of my beliefs now. And it is testing, but always remember, like, I believe that, but that's only an opinion. It's not a scientific fact. It's not been proven. It's just someone's opinion that I've got attached to, and some beliefs are scary to let go because you've known that all your life, and change is scary. Change is very scary, and your brain will automatically straight away go, fuck that. This could happen, this could happen, this could happen. So you're living in fear, and that is the way your subconscious mind is trained to protect you. So before you know it, you're worried about something that has never happened, may never happen, but it's holding you back.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, because you pick it up, like a lot of your beliefs you pick up through childhood, through people really close to you, people you love, and it's really difficult to shake those then because it's like it's ingrained in you for so long by people you love and trust, and you've been so close to for so long, and shaking them kind of beliefs is so difficult.
Yeah, some are really difficult because, like you say, Aaron, like you've had them for a long while, and those people you love, your parents will not lie to you. They are telling you the like, and that's my dad loves me, my mum loves me. Why would they ever lie to me? Money is the root of all evil. And I remember my dad had a successful business when I was a child, and when I was about 12, 13, I remember we lost everything, like everything. I remember seeing my mum in the garden smoking a cigarette, and she's not smoked since she fell in labour with me, and I was 12, 13 at the time. I was like, "What are you doing?" And my mum, bless her, she's got such a great heart. But some of the things she told me, I feel too much, and I felt that those financial responsibilities, they're not my responsibility. I'm 12 years old, but I got they were put on me. Like, I think my mum just done it to release, to talk to someone. So then at the age of 12, I see my mum and dad arguing all the time when it comes to money, and we was in absolute dire mess, and hundreds of thousands, and it was scary. So my relationship with money from a young age was It makes you argue. It makes you fight. It's sparse. There's not much of it. It causes. I mean, and then I got to about 2020. I learned about a thing called a credit card. I got myself into so much debt, and I wasn't.
Yeah, being there.
My parents. My mum would love spending. My mum loves spending. So she was like, "I'll just put it on a credit card, pay it off later." And my dad was the complete opposite. So you got mixed emotions, and my dad wasn't really one to really parent too much. He was always out. He was always working. He was the grafter. But all of them little beliefs, and it's only since I started coaching, I started breaking things down, thinking that's not real, that's not true. But my parents have done the best they could with the best knowledge they could. And we all do. There's no rule book for life, and there's no rule book for parenting. And I try to be the best dad I can be. But I have noticed a hell of a lot since coaching that I've become, I would say, a better parent. Like I'm very careful certain words I use with my daughter, or I would say, yeah, because I look at how would I feel when I was a child if I don't want her to feel rejected, but I want her to know that what she's doing is wrong. So there's a punishment, but there's rules and there's rewards. And it's such a fucking fine line and hard, because like I say, there's no rule book.
Yeah, it's a difficult balance to get right, and like I say, the coaching stuff will definitely transfer, but then you've also got the emotional element on top that makes it even more difficult, haven't you?
The puppy eyes and
yeah.
I remember this was it's a funny story now. I remember I was really bad on drugs, and I needed help bad, so I thought I'm going to go counselling. So I went to so many different counsellors, but I just couldn't relate to them. I just couldn't open up. My heart was always closed. I was a very closed book. I knew I needed help, but I didn't want to tell them everything. I felt vulnerable. So anyway, I filled this form out. It's about 30 questions. And the man come back in the room and he went to me, right, so you're insecure and was you spoiled as a child? I was like, by my mum, very much so. He went, yeah, that's the problem. So I was like, so basically, I'm really insecure. My mum fucked my life up. So he was like, basically, yeah. So I come out, and then I realised where I was always given anything I wanted. When you're a baby, you'll eat your own shit and you'll laugh about it. You don't know everything you, like you said earlier, your beliefs your beliefs. You learn from experiences from childhood, whether it's your family, your friends, your parents, circles of friends. But I never understood the word no. If I wanted something, my mum would get it for me. So they said that is one of the key elements that makes someone an addict usually. They don't understand, why can't I have it? I want it now, why can't I have it? So I'm really particular about spoiling my daughter. Probably too much. I'm like, no, she can't have it. If you want it, you can wait 2 weeks. If you still want it in 2 weeks, you can have it. And I've got that so drummed in my head. But like you say, everyone's different. But I just try to do the best I can. But my poor mum, I come out there, I rung her up and I said, thanks, mum. She started crying. She was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, don't be stupid.
Oh, you can't know them kind of things all the time, can you?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, then. What's one piece of advice then, right, you'd give to someone who at the minute is feeling lost, stuck, or really struggling to find their way, based on what you've learned through your life and your life lessons?
Without sounding like cheesy, I would say ring me. You get 60 minutes free anyway. And I would honestly say, if you relate to me, read my book, download it. It's free. And if you want a 60-minute free call, my phone is always on. Or I always try and flip things on the so I always reframe things, and it's one of my things I love to do. So like my son passing for me, I reframe that as he's a gift. I wouldn't be doing what I do now. Sometimes in the moment when you're so depressed, you can't look at it that way, and I know that I'm not stupid, but you can dig your way out. So I would like, for me, you've got the reframe loop, or the reverse gap. So when you learn coaching, they say, right, here's where you are, here's where you want to be. How do we get there? What's that gap? But it also works the other way. You can look at your previous life and say, well, I was here, and look how much I've improved. And straight away, you're working from a positive mode. And then you should start thinking about, and then as soon as you're in that grateful mode, like, well, fuck, I haven't drunk for 2 weeks, or I've got a better job now. There's always something positive that you've come from too. So once you're working from that better mindset, then you can start saying, as soon as you're working from a happier place, a better mindset, then you can start working on, what do I need to do? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I get you. You need to be in a place where you're willing and wanting to take the steps, really, can't you? Because otherwise, you won't do it. So no, I've seen that myself, and I do appreciate that.
And I do gratitude. Great. Like, I know it sounds, I hate, just be thankful and spiritual. And I'm not religious. I am spiritual now. Like, I'm covered in crosses everywhere on my body, tattoos. Every time I used to mess up, I'll get another cross tattoo. I looked at Buddhism. I looked at becoming a Jew. I've read the Quran. I was so lost. I just wanted to be part of something bigger than myself. And it was just, I couldn't be circumcised at 41 years old. And for Judaism, but I loved the way they were. I love Buddhism, and I've taken little bits from each, like, religion. And I would say I'm more spiritual now, but life is an amazing thing. It really is about sounding, I don't want to sound like my way with the fairies, because when you're down and you're lost, hearing someone say life is an amazing thing would just piss me off. It really would piss me off. I'd be like, it's all right for you, though, isn't it? Sitting there doing your podcast. But I was where you are, and I want to help you. I don't give a fuck about the money. Like, you can pay me in 5 years' time. If I can make you smile and make you be a better parent, make you be a better parent to your child, and that ripple effect makes your child a better life, makes your children a better life, makes your friend, like, the ripple effect can be huge. And that's why I'm in such a mission to get my story out there, to let people know I'm no better than you, but you can do it with the right support and the right knowledge.
Yeah, I think it helps people knowing that you've been through it and they can relate to that.
Yeah,
you know, it does help. So, right, obviously you said people can call you and contact you. So we're looking forward to, is it Friday that you said you're launching your
website?
My
website is taking about 2 months. I just wanted to get it perfect. I know there's no such thing as perfect, but there's so much more to it, because obviously the community section part of it, my ebook's on there anyway. My ebook's been out for ages. It's just a 15-page book, and it just explains a bit of detail of what I was doing for a living and how I transformed my life and what I do for now, how I help others, and my mission. The idea is that you go on the website, you read it, and if you relate to me, you're struggling with addictions or traumas, or you're in business but you feel a bit lost, you need that little push, and you can relate to me as a person. I swear, I'm from South East London. I'm down to earth. I'm grounded, but my intentions are good. And because there's some people, like, I done a post the other day, and I sent this to my mum. My mum was like, "You cannot do that. That's not good." And I said, "But you're not the client I want." Do you know what I mean? You're the client I don't really want to work, that wouldn't relate with me. So I sent it to the digital market, and they went, "Oh my God, I love it. It's amazing. It's a bit, what's the word?" I said to my missus went to me, "You can't say the word porn and the word wank." So, but it's an addiction. So I didn't post it. I toned it down a bit.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think probably some of the social media networks will block that. I think probably, but
yeah, it's
they're funny with certain things.
Because when I say I'm new to social media, for me, my funny side doesn't come across. My personality, I'm always seem too serious. So I wanted to get my personality across. So that's why I try to do a lot of podcasts, because people can see the real me, not just behind a post.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like technology these days with podcasts, we didn't have this years ago when I built my first business. Like the Zoom idea. So you've got to use it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to speak to people and for people to understand who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah,
and a lot of people
100%.
will.
Yeah,
a lot of people will do it now as well. Will sit and listen to like long form content and listen for hours. So it's definitely a good platform. This is a question that I've asked all my guests so far, so I'm going to keep going with it. If you could go back to your younger self, what is one piece of advice that you'd give your younger self?
Yeah. Don't touch cocaine.
Do you think you would have listened?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Do you think it would have worked at the time?
Probably not. You know what? Probably one thing I'd say is be true to yourself. Like, I've always been not a sheep. I've always been a shepherd. But when I was really bad on drugs, I was just I was a lost little sheep. Like lost in the field on his own. But I knew internally that wasn't me. That's what I tried to say. Because you might do an action, but you know internally what you're doing is wrong. And you know that. Your mind is saying you know you shouldn't do this, don't you? So that's your inner. So your gut, or you've got more endorphins in your belly, in your stomach, in your gut than you do in your brain. So when you get a gut feeling, it's for half the time for a reason. So I really do. So I would probably say to myself, go like be me, but never. I wish I never touched cocaine. Really do.
Yeah. I like that. I'm big on gut instinct as well. I think that's a massive thing. Massive thing. Intuition and gut instinct is huge for me.
Yeah.
I love that. Right. So obviously after everything you've been through, right, how would you like to be remembered now? So say in 20, 30 years, right? Obviously you've been through this, you've got to this point. How would you like to be remembered?
We talk about this. So like when you say about manifestation, I sometimes work from when I die. So I look back, I look forward and think, right, I'm not afraid to die. I said this to my missus yesterday. I said, I could die tomorrow. I've had a good life. I'm happy. I don't want to leave my daughter. I don't want to leave my partner, but I'm content with myself. So I sometimes work back and think, how did I want to lay in my deathbed? Who do I want around me? What do I want them saying to me? And I said to my mum and I said to my partner, I want to be known as iconic. Even the people that taught me how to coach, they said, where are you going to be in 5 years? I said, bigger than you. I want to be iconic. I want to be world leading for good reasons. Instead of being on the 6 o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news, the Sun newspaper, the Daily Mail for selling drugs. I want to be known as a life changer. And people to see not legend, that's a bit ego, but for me, I want to do right, and I want to be known for just being a good person and doing the right thing and changing people's lives, because that's some people just get lost. I got lost, and addiction doesn't care what colour you are, how much money you've got, what nationality, how you've been brought up. It doesn't care. I don't like to call it a disease. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know these things. I don't know if all I know is they can be beaten. And I just want the world to know that. And I want, if you feel ashamed or you're worried, you feel ashamed because you're struggling now, you're not alone. And there's other people out there to talk to as well. I want to be out people to know they're not alone. That is the main thing for me. Like I said to you earlier, if someone wants to cry, I'd rather someone cry with someone, with me, than cry on your own, because it's sad. And that's why the idea of my community app. I don't care about the money from it. I honestly, in 2 years' time, when the values I want it to be hitting is crazy, but I'd give 100% of that away. It's not about the money for me in one single element.
Yeah, I think obviously you're going down this road. You're doing the coaching and stuff. So you obviously seen that you've only been through that journey yourself. So you obviously see that there's a need for it.
Yeah.
Is that a reflection on where we are with our health service and what they provide for addiction at the minute, or is it non-existent?
That is a good question. Like for me, there was nothing in HS. It was just a group session. And I'm not going to lie, I used to go to the group session sniffing cocaine, and I'd go in the toilet during the group session sniff another line. It didn't work for me. And I don't want to put other things down because, like I say, everyone that comes to me is different. What works for me may not work for you. And I try to say to people, I might not be right for you. Group might be better for you. But at least with the app, they have the option. They can do group on the app. They don't have to show their face, or they can do one-to-one with me. So I'm trying to give everyone their own option, what works best. And then obviously you've got the retreat. So it's like a rehab, but it's not a rehab. So I try to cover every element for me, how I'd like to help people. Yeah, and I would say like mental health is a lot more, I call it mental wealth for me, because your wealth, you can gain more and you can get better. Like your body, like for me, at first I was going to do something to do with it because I love the gym, obviously, like yourself, Aaron. But I remember when I used to look really good, but feel really shit mentally. So I thought, how can them two work together? Like, how can I make someone look good and feel good? And then I started understanding about mental health. And I think like, COVID was bad for some people. For me, I enjoyed the time off work. I actually loved lockdown with my daughter. It was brilliant. But then some people really struggled with it, and I understand that. Like I say, everyone's different. But I know, like my daughter at the minute, we feel that she's got ADHD. She's quite. I don't like. Oh, what's the word? I don't like tagging someone with a problem. Do you know what I mean? Because she might just be a naughty child for her mum. But the support there for that is crazy. There is none. It's like a 2-year waiting list.
Yeah.
So I said, like, so my daughter's got to struggle for 2 years at school. Us as parents have got to struggle. And it's not fair on her mentally because it's going to be more harming. So, and then you look at the private route, but then some of the people won't accept a private diagnosis. So, yeah, I think the mental health system isn't great in this country. I don't know what it's like in other countries, so I can't really say, but
I've been through that journey myself. My stepson's 15 now. He's been diagnosed with ADHD and autism. But that was a long, long road. And we did go private for the autism diagnosis because the waiting list, we'd only just been diagnosed with ADHD, but the waiting list for autism was ridiculous. So
I know that for a fact, yeah.
Yeah, so we did go private, and some places still won't even accept it because it was private. But
it's crazy. And the medication is so expensive.
Yeah, it's madness, but it has helped him a lot, and it helps him.
Is he all right now?
Himself.
Feel good?
Yeah, he's sound. He's good, and
Brilliant.
it just helps him to understand himself as well, which is actually taking a bit of weight off because then he's understanding why he's doing certain things and stuff like that as well. So,
yeah, that's brilliant. That's amazing. That's really good.
But it's it's a difficult one, and I know I've got a lot of friends who are going through either just been diagnosed or trying to get diagnosed as adults as well, and it's even harder as an adult.
My friend just got diagnosed. He paid quite a lot of money, but he just got diagnosed and he's on medication now, and he's so much calmer. And I think we've all got a bit in us. Like my brain doesn't stop. My missus laughs because I've got notebooks everywhere. My brain does not stop. So certain times of the day I'll be thinking, right, that's a post, that's a podcast, this. And I think that's the addictive nature or the drive in me or my passion. Like someone that was building something for me for my business, he deals with a lot of life coaches. And it was actually an honour this week. He said to me, everyone I work with, he said, you're the one person I'd want to coach me. He said, please, would you coach me? I was like, are you serious? He was like, your passion, like I get off the Zoom call with you, he said, and I feel like I'm ready to take on the world in my business. You make me feel like a brand new person. So I was actually honoured because he works with a lot of life coaches for his business. And we start on Friday, so I was absolutely chuffed.
Yeah, that's good. You can see it. Your energy does come across, and that does,
So I was just checking my battery. Sorry.
That's right. That's right. The energy does come across, and I think it's important, because if you're flat and a bit down in the dumps or whatever when you try to coach people, I think people just pick that up, don't they?
Yeah, it sounds like some of my ex-missus. Girlfriend, sorry. Draining. But obviously,
it's true. It's true because you do pick up that energy off other people, and it does affect you, and vice
of course
versa.
it does.
So,
of course it does.
So it's important. But have you got anything? So I'm going to wrap it up pretty shortly. Have you got anything else you want to add, or
not really? I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity, and it's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. I appreciate having you on. It's been great. Yeah, of course. I'd like to have a catch up and give it a little bit of time to see how things develop with the website and that.
Yeah,
and then have you back on and see how things are going.
Yeah,
that'd be quite nice. It'd be quite nice if we could do that. And then, we'll probably wrap it up there. What I'll do after when we go off live, I'll grab all your details and pop it in the show notes for people so they know where they can find you and get in touch with you, etc.
Okay, that's what, Aaron. Thank you so much. It's been great online as well, by the way. Good aura, great soul. You've got a very good aura.
Oh, not sure about that, but I appreciate the compliment.
Honestly.
Right, I'm going to just say goodbye to everybody who's watching, and then if you stick around after, we'll have a quick chat.
Yeah.